Good evening, ladies. It's Mandy, and we have had a wonderful week studying together in the Ministry of Motherhood Study. Now, for anybody that has been part of my Good Morning Girl groups for any length of time, you know that I like to do these videos on the weekends, trying to wrap up our week, see where we were at. And I like to do a little bit of teaching. I know that a lot of people, their one thing with Good Morning Girls is I want more teaching, I want more teaching. And we get wonderful teaching on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but I try to give just a little bit more on the weekends. Now, the Ministry of Motherhood Study is a little bit different. It was one of the first studies that Good Morning Girls did, so the blog posts are a little bit different, and two, we have the book. So we get Sally Clarkson teaching to us each week. Now, I won't be posting this to my blog for two reasons. Number one is my blog just got its very own domain name, www.women-of-worship.com. The Women of Worship is taken by a Southern Gospel group that doesn't even exist anymore, but you can't get a hold of them. So we've got our own domain names now, and so I'm so excited about that. And there's going to be a lot of really cool things that come because of that in the coming weeks. But because of that, I didn't want to tie any studies to it right now. Also, it's an older study of Good Morning Girls, and so I'm doing some of my own things with it, and I didn't want to put anything out there that might have Good Morning Girls name on it that isn't affiliated with Good Morning Girls. So even though we are doing a Good Morning Girls study, there are some things that I'm going to be doing within our study that are just a little bit different than when it was offered the first time. And I don't want to, like I said, put anything out there that is not Good Morning Girls related and make it look like it is. So, and I do that mainly because I'm on leadership and I know how much we work to make everything look so uniform. And by having an online ministry myself, I want to make sure that everything that is done to the glory of God. And by trying to do stuff that doesn't look that way, it kind of looks underhanded, and I don't want to be a part of that. And I know you don't want to be either. So I'm going to my videos might be a little longer because I'm not going to be doing all the typing to go with it. So if you are somebody who doesn't have about 15 minutes to watch, that's fine. Now, I've also encouraged everybody to do their own video blog, video message, and you can do this on YouTube. If you have a webcam attached to your computer, that's how I actually make all these videos. The big trick is finding good lighting in your house. So you can do that through YouTube and just upload it and paste the link right underneath in the comments below, or you can just comment about what I've shared with you. So this week we have started, and we started in Psalm 127 verse 1, and I actually just had a wonderful little boy just ring my doorbell and totally scare me because I'm home alone, and so I'm sorry if I'm flipping the pages a little bit. But it was our memory verse this week, so I think that we should be able to say it by memory, but I will admit that the second part I'm still really working on. So it's, unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain who build it. Unless the Lord guards the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. And you know what, ladies? This was a very key verse, and that's why I chose it as our memory verse this week. Unless we allow the Lord to build our house, we are laboring in vain. If we do this in our own ability, if we do this for our own glory, we are working in vain. And how many times have we done something that we have put a lot of time and effort into and nobody appreciated it? That's kind of like doing something in vain. We think about that great meal that you made, and the day that you stayed home cleaning your house pristine, and you cooked this great dinner, and the kids didn't like dinner, your husband threw his socks on the floor, whatever it might have been. I'm not trying to give you a scenario from my home, so don't go reading into that. But just whatever it might have been that you worked really, really hard for, and nobody appreciated it, so it was in vain. That's kind of the same thing we're doing here. If we do something totally in our own strength, in our own power, then we're working in vain. And you know what? That just leads to frustration. That leads to disappointment. That leads to failure, feelings of failure. And that is not what the Lord intended for any of us to feel when it comes to our homes. He has intended us to feel like we have accomplished something because we have done it in His name. And so I want you to be very, very sure that you know that they that build the house build it in vain. But if the Lord builds it, it's not in vain. And that means daily getting up and letting the Holy Spirit do its work in you, so that you, when you're doing your work, you are the hands and feet of Jesus. And because then he is building the house and not you. And you're going to this book and you're finding out how Jesus wants you to build your home. And so that you're not building it on your own idealistic things, or Pinterest, or Good Morning Girls, or Women Living Well, or Mandy. You're building it on you. And you have to realize, I love what Courtney Joseph says in her book, Women Living Well. She says, there are no cookie cutter marriages. And I say the same thing is true about raising your kids and having your home. There is no cookie cutter way to do this Christian life. It is each and every one of us doing it the way that the Lord intended us to do it. And so know that to be true. The second part of the verse, though, is what really got to me. It says, unless the Lord guards the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. And we need to realize that our homes are little cities. We have, however many people are in your home, they're the people of your city. And we are the watchmen of our homes. We are the ones, we know the temperature of what our home is like. And if lest we allow the Lord to do the guarding, as a watchman, we're going to be staying awake in vain. We need to commit our house to the Lord. And that is the first thing that I did this week. Is my challenge was to commit the house to the Lord and to allow him to do that. So let that be your challenge today. Commit your house tonight or tomorrow morning when you get up and you start your day. Commit your house and your time to the Lord.